See that over there? It's a dumb waiter. It's not for food, so don't get it twisted. No, instead I reserve it for peak journalism. It's typically IGN or Kotaku, but every once in a while there's a straggler. Oh, here it is now. IGN's top 100 games of all time. Okay, let's see here. Final Fantasy VII, Pro Skater, pretty standard. Oh, what's this? All is right. Lists like this make me wonder what traits accumulate to make the perfect game. Admittedly, such a broad topic shouldn't be put under such blanket terms, so I'll lay it out like this. In a subjective sense, the best games have 4 things: style, physics, proper implementation, and an overarching narrative. If you're like me and play games in the boomer shooter genre, typically you forgo the narrative step, at least on a face basis. Style. I talked about this in my other video. If a game's stylish, the game is wild-ish. The game is wild-fish. Look, Rhyme.com isn't helping me. Point is, if your game blends in with the crowd and can't walk on its own, it's most likely to be forgot amongst the sea of slop. If your game sticks out like a sore thumb, congratulations. In the last 5 years, I can name 4 games that stuck out to me, but there's more. Cruelty Squad, Ultra Kill, Animal Well, Rain World. Now I'm not media literate, but Cruelty Squad used its style to portray its message. Saturation, things being lost amongst the fog, in-your-face advertising, overt steps of capitalism. Style doesn't always have to coincide with the overarching narrative, but when it does, it's nice. Honestly, if a game's good to look at and has interesting mechanics, it can make up for any shortcomings in between. With these 5 things I've listed, very rarely do all games have all 5. That's not my point, but looking through what I do like in games, these are just the simplest ways to boil them down. TLDR, games are pretty. Physics. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about Half-Life. Maybe I like beating dead horses, okay? Physics are one of the simplest ways to introduce neat mechanics, whether this be an addition of puzzles or combat. Half-Life 2 did this perfect. As a child, it was so interesting to me to interact with the world in this way. Even parts as simple as Part 2, where you're picking up the wires to connect the unplugged teleporter, to this day are still interesting to me. It's not a cheap cutaway, it's not a cutscene, you're directly interacting with the environment. If nothing, physics force you to learn your surroundings and learn the environment you work in. And I just think that's neat.
Proper implementation of mechanics.
Now, here's my thing. It rubs me the wrong fucking way, dude, when a game makes me spend 3 hours in a fucking tutorial menu. And here's the thing. It doesn't have to happen. You don't need to explicitly say these things if you can teach the player through the game. Blow something up, pick an item up, anything. If the game can demonstrate how to play the game in simple terms without opening a menu with 3 paragraphs, you've done it right. Anyways. Finally, an overarching narrative. I enjoy story, and maybe you do too. Well, I touched on this sort of in the last video. I find story games enthralling because this is the only medium that puts you in the shoes of your protagonist. It's not just a character, by extension, it is you. And if the game can tell me a story that affects that part of me that's attached to this player, well, I'll just cry. I like story. Well, this isn't a part series. This will effectively be a new era in my channel where I go over things that I just kind of like. And it's not just going to be exclusively games, but if you like them, stick around. I enjoy making videos like this. Anyways, see ya.